Hi, I'm Kathleen. I'm a wood turner and welcome to my shop. Today I'm going to do a pencil holder for my sister. She's a sketch artist and requires a shallow dish about 3.5 to 4 inches deep that she can put all her pencils in. I found the perfect blank. It's, I believe, maple. There's maple written on it with a big question mark, so we're going to hopefully figure out what it is. It seems really big right now, but if you look closely, there's a nail right in there. We're going to need to not turn that part. So I'm actually going to take the bandsaw and cut a smaller blank, avoiding this really dangerous piece that's in the wood. So always check your wood for foreign objects that might have grown into the bark or the wood itself, and check for cracks. Cracks can be really dangerous as well if you don't know that they're there, and if you haven't treated them with glue or epoxy. The blank is ready. I just need to drill a hole in the middle, attach it to the lathe using my screw chuck, turn a foot on the bottom so that when I reverse it, I can just put it on the one-way chuck and then clean out the inside and finish off the outside. I'll be using my bowl gouges. So I have this big bowl gouge. It is attached to this handle that was made by another turner, and I can always remove this part when I need to sharpen. I also have a small 1/4 inch bowl gouge that I really like, and I don't mean small in length because actually it used to be this long 14 years ago. But I call it small because it's just a 1/4 inch as opposed to the 3/8 inch of the other bowl gouge. I made a handle for this, like I said, 13 years ago, and this new bowl gouge that was recently purchased from One Way will be going either in this handle or in this handle. I haven't decided yet which one I'm going to use, but that's basically what it'll look like. I'm also going to use a flat scraper. It's square, ground at a 45-degree angle, and I will use this to clean up the inside of the pencil case. Now that the blank is attached to the lathe, I'm going to be using my 3-inch bowl gouge to make it as round as possible by turning the outside of the bowl. I'm manually turning it now to make sure that it doesn't hit the tool rest, and I'm going to turn the speed on to slow as I start the first few cuts, and I will increase the speed as the piece of wood gets rounder. Once I've taken some of the bulk off, I'm going to turn the lathe off, and I'm going to move my tool rest closer. You want the tool rest as close as possible so that your tool doesn't get caught in the wood as it's turning. You might end up with a really big injury, broken wood, broken tool, broken hands, broken head. So we're just going to move the tool rest a little closer. And start up again. I'm going to be turning all of the bark off and then creating a foot so that when we turn it around, it'll be on solid wood and not on bark. bark and the piece is actually a lot shorter than I thought it would be. So instead of the 4 inches I was hoping for, or at least the 3.5, it's actually only 3. Once I put the foot on there, which will be about a 1/4 inch, and then leave enough room for the bottom of the bowl, I'm looking, or the container, I'm looking at maybe 2.5 inches. So it's probably too shallow for my sister, but I'm going to go ahead anyways. It'll be a nice little round bowl and can be used for other things. So here's the blank so far. I've created a foot so that the one-way jaws will hold it. I'll be doing the inside, cleaning that up a little bit and giving a bit more shape to the outside. It's not as deep as I was hoping. I guess she'll be putting her erasers in it. Mostly finished the inside of the bowl using my big bowl gouge. Now I'm going to turn to my 1/4 inch and finish off the bottom and try and get the sides a little bit smoother. I've also turned the tool rest inside the bowl a little bit, making sure that it turns clear. This will give me a little more stability when I'm resting my tool. You want your tool to rest as close to the wood that you're cutting as possible. Otherwise, it's out of balance and you could tear out in your wood, you could injure yourself. Everything is about safety. So the closer to the tool rest, to the wood, to your tool, that's what you want. The inside and the outside have been turned. The only thing left to do is, while it's on the lathe, is to sand it. But I'm also going to add 2, or actually 3 accent marks. So I've made little notches into the wood, and now I'm going to use my wire at a high speed and burn some lines in it. Always be careful that you don't touch the wire. Based on the smoke, the wire is extremely hot. It's now time to sand. So with my sanding attachment, I'll just put it in the drill and I will use my 2-inch Velcro-backed sanding discs. I'll be sanding the inside and the outside. I'm going to sand at a slightly slower speed than I was turning at. I will have my dust collector on, so it's really, really loud. I wear a mask so I don't inhale a lot of the particles, the sawdust that goes around. And I'm going to try and sand it to 320. That's the grit that I usually like to finish at, either 320 or 400. burn line, sanded the inside and the outside. I just need to remove the foot and finish it with a coat of oil. The piece is now mounted to the cold jaws, being held on the outside by these rubber knobs. I will turn off the foot, making sure that the inside of the bottom is a little bit concave so that when it sits on the flat surface, it doesn't wobble. Always make sure that your hand is away from this part of the cold jaws. That's what your tool rest is for. Just going to make sure that the inside is indented enough. It just needs 1 or 2 more passes and then we'll have a good bottom. This is the bowl off the chuck. The foot has been removed. I'm just going to sign the bottom. Now that it's been turned, I can tell that this piece of wood is maple. So that's what I'm going to write on the bottom. I use my burning kit. I like the smell and I like the way the result is. It actually, to me, lasts longer than ink. I sign my first initial, my last name, and I like putting a date down. So the year is 2021. The bottom has been signed and now I'm going to oil it. I use Tung Oil. Right now I'm using this brand. It's easy to find and it leaves a really nice finish. You just put a little bit on your paper towel and start rubbing it everywhere. It's good if you put on gloves just to protect your hands. And make sure to give it a really good coating. You can already see a nice, slightly darker finish, but it brings out all the colors. On the inside, I'm just going to pour a little bit in and spread it around. Once it's been thoroughly coated, you can let it sit for a few minutes. Then take a clean, dry cloth, another piece of paper towel, and wipe off the excess. Making sure that there's oil everywhere. Look how pretty that is. My sister wanted a bit of a shine on her pencil holder, so I'm now polishing it with Tripoli, and then I'll be polishing it with Carnauba wax. It'll give it a really nice shine. My sister's pencil holder is all finished. In total, there are 3 coats of oil. I then buffed it with Tripoli and then polished it with Carnauba wax to give it its shine. She likes shiny things, so I'm sure she's gonna really love this. If you enjoyed my turning video, please let me know. Leave comments and questions and I'll be sure to answer. Thank you for joining me in my shop, and I hope that you'll join me again. It's now time to sand. I have my drill with my it goes into the drill. as deep as I was hoping. I guess she'll just put her erasers. Ugh. Now that the blank is attached to the wood, okay, let's start again. Hi, I'm Kathleen. Turning Baroness, and if you're curious about the Baroness part, my husband, for my birthday, bought me a title. I'm Baroness of Sealand. I'm going to start my grit at 800. The piece is a little bit rough.
800?
800? No, I'm going to video. He's my videographer. I love him to bits, but right now, I want him to go away.